Hello, Hiram College Moodle users. In this series of videos, I'm going to show you the quizzing function in Moodle. I'm breaking it into 3 different videos, that way you can go to the video that most applies to your needs. In this first video, we're going to focus on creating a question bank. So let's get started. For these video examples, I'm going to show you the quizzing function that I've been using in my drug use and abuse class. This is a class I typically offer during my 3-week term, and to make the most of our time together, we do quiz quite heavily. So it's basically a quiz every day. So I figured this would be a good example course to show you with. So first of all, let's show you how to set up your quiz bank. All right. So in your administration tab, you're going to see a link that says question bank. If you click on that little arrow next to it, you get a few different options. Now, if you're only going to do 1 or 2 quizzes or maybe 1 exam in your Moodle page, you can just go in and create your own questions just like that. But if you're going to quiz as heavily as what I do, I highly recommend using categories. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we click on categories. You can see I already have quite a list here. Now I find it helpful just to organize them by chapter. Typically that is the way that publishers might give you a test bank organized by chapter, so sometimes it's easier just to upload them that way. You could also arrange them by maybe a topic, so go with whatever is going to make the most sense for your course. So don't feel like you need to use the method I'm using. This is just one example. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to add a new category. So let's see, it looks like I stopped at chapter 14. Let's say I want to add in a category for chapter 15. So it's as simple as just typing in the name. Okay. And then I can also add in category information. So this could be a place where you could add in topic information if you wanted. This box is completely optional, so if you're happy just leaving it chapter 15 or whatever your category name is, go for it. Just click add category when you're done, and you'll see it added to the list. Okay? And you can organize your list. You can move this up and down if you want, but it all ends up in the same drop-down box. So if you're not too particular about it, you can leave it as is. So now I want to add questions to this new category I've created. Okay? So in order to do that, I simply just click on the little number in the parentheses next to my category title. And here I can create a new question. So I click on that, and I get this little pop-up box that gives me all the different question options. So I can go with something that's calculated, maybe a short essay question, matching, multiple choice, true, false. If you're wondering what some of these are, if you simply click on it, you'll get a little description here. So I'm just going to show you a simple true, false question. So click next, and then we get all of our options here. Right. So I'm going to have this reside in my chapter 15 category, but you can choose any category that you want from that drop-down menu. So if you change your mind, you want to put it in a different category, you can do that at that point. Okay. Now here you're required to put in a question name and a question text. The question name is what you will see when you are choosing your questions to put in your quizzes. The question text is what your students will see when they see the quiz question. They won't actually see the quiz name or a question name. Okay. For the question name, it's highly recommended that you don't choose question 1 or question 2 because again, that's what you are going to see, and so you need it to be a bit more meaningful than that. As you're picking and choosing your questions. So typically what I do is write in the question text and copy and paste it as the question name, and I usually don't have too many issues with that. Okay, so with this true-false question for my drug use and abuse class, I'll go with a standard one here. All right, and I can copy and paste it there. All right, so here again, question name is what I will see when I'm choosing my questions later to put on my quiz. Question text, this is what the student will see, but in many cases it's helpful to have the same wording for both. Okay. Next you can choose the default mark, usually just 1 point. but you can always adjust that later if you want. Okay. And then you need to indicate the correct answer. So in this case, the correct answer would be true. Okay. Now you can add in additional feedback based on those responses. Typically I leave those blank. I don't find those as helpful, but you're more than welcome to add those in. If you want to know how to work some of the options or what additional options are or other recommended practices, you can always click on this link at the bottom of the page, Moodle Docs for this page, and that will take you to a page that is specific to that information. Okay, so once you're happy with everything you've entered in here, click Save Changes, and you'll see that question populated in your list there. Okay. Now I mentioned earlier that sometimes I like to use question banks that I get from my book publisher. Well, there's a way that you can do a mass upload of those. Okay. So we go back to our administration page, okay, and we click on Import. Okay. And here we get many different options. Okay. And really you're just going to go with whatever option your publisher provides their question bank in. So I'm actually going to show you an example of a question bank that uses the Moodle XML format. Okay. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I have all of my options expanded. Because when you do that, then you see which category things are going to end up in. Okay. Since I was working in that chapter 15 category before, it kind of defaulted to that. But you want to just double check where you're going to be importing things. Okay. And since I'm putting them into an existing category, I want to make sure that I uncheck the box that says Get Category from File, because I don't need to duplicate that. Okay. Now, the format that my particular import is going to be using is the Moodle XML format. So I just want to make sure that is selected. Okay. And then with Moodle, in one of the most recent updates, we have the option to just drag and drop files there. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. Okay. And we can see that I have it open here, a quiz that I have actually created through one of my third-party publishers and is in that Moodle XML format. So I'm just grab the file I want and simply plop it in there. Okay. And click Import. Okay, and we'll see that all of them are listed here. Okay, once you're happy with what is popping in there, hit Continue, and then you'll see those added to the list. Okay, all right, so that is all I have for creating your question bank. Again, if you have questions about how you would do an import, maybe through other third-party vendors or other means for getting your questions in, please do not hesitate to ask me questions. All right, so stick around. We've got another video that will show you how to actually create your quiz.